everyone. My name is Nyemade, and I am a volunteer with I Am My Sister's Keeper, here to bring you another episode of Moments with I Am My Sister's Keeper, where we talk to different people who have been involved with the organization, either from a leadership viewpoint or being one of the girls who have taken part, just to tell you more about what we do and the impact we have on the community. I'm so excited today. I have two of our board members with us. They're joining to tell us a little bit more about themselves and why they got involved with the organization. So I have Miss Dorothy Dillard and Miss Melissa Richmond. Melissa Richmond. To start with, since on my monitor you're to the left, Ms. Richmond, would you like to tell everybody just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Melissa Richmond, and I grew up here in Delaware since the age of 5, went to school here, high school, and college at the University of Delaware. So I'm pretty much a native Delawarean. And I started with MSK about 5 years ago. I had worked with Charlotte for a long time at the school Parkway Academy that we both worked at. So she asked me to come on as secretary, and I've been there since. I thought it was a 2-year term, but she laughs and says, no, you're in as long as I'm in. So I guess I got a few more years yet. So like I said, this is about my 5th year with MSK, and my title is board secretary and STEAM coordinator for the little girls, the next generation girls.
Nice. Well, we're so glad that you're part of the organization. Ms. Dillard?
I'm Dorothy Dillard, and I do one of the hats I wear is helping organizations with grant writing and strategic planning. And through that work, I was connected with Charlotte and MSK, and I, came to the table and haven't left. So Charlotte has a way of engaging us and engaging our hearts. So I've been with the board for not quite a year yet.
Nice. Well, I'm so glad that you have joined and that you've enjoyed your time here. So you both sort of explained a little bit about what led you to joining the organization. Besides, you're knowing Miss Charlotte and her wanting to have you involved, was there anything else that was kind of like your why that made you feel especially connected to joining this group that works with young girls? And either of you can answer.
Well, I worked with the girls at Parkway. We started out with a few girls from Parkway, so I knew them. And I always laughed because if people had told me I was going to end up working in an alternative school for kids who were being disciplined and kicked out or removed from their home schools, I would have laughed. I'm like, no, because I grew up, I went to private school, I had a pretty privileged upbringing. I was like, why would I ever end there? But I was there for about 15 years and I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. So when it came time, or there came a chance for me to give back and maybe get to know the girls a little better, I jumped at it.
Okay, I love that. Ms. Dillard?
And I just have, for whatever reasons, moral obligation to help where I can help. I am very attuned to particularly race inequities, and however I can be a part of the solution. I try to take those opportunities when they're offered to me. So grew up in the South in the late 60s and 70s, and just lots of things that didn't make sense, lots of talk about all people are equal, but I didn't see people being treated that way. So I think that just really kind of led me to be aware of how I have a place in making things better. So I just see MSK doing so many good things, and this may be one of your other questions, but one of the things that just always warms my heart and keeps me pushing myself to do more is the Tea Party, the Founders Day, going to some of the events and seeing the girls just given that space to be their authentic selves and to see them, happy and, feeling safe and expressing who they are, is just a really beautiful thing.
And I love that you put action behind what you were feeling and thinking, because there are so many people who might notice inequities or, notice that there should be more done, but they don't often then go to the next level of joining a board or volunteering or, doing the things that both of you have done. So I definitely appreciate you putting the work behind the words, because that's really what's necessary to make those changes and to help improve things. So, as you mentioned, MSK does do some really fun events. There's the Tea Party, and recently they had the Founders Banquet, and we during the month have the STEM and the Confidence Clubs. But what are some of or do you have a favorite MSK activity or event that happens each year?
I'm trying to think because there's so much to choose from. I guess I like the Tea Party. It's a lot of work to the build up to the Tea Party, but I do enjoy the Tea Party. And this year I've been on a couple of retreats, but this year I went on their long one, or their Poconos one, with Chester and Dover, and that was enjoyable. I look forward to the next one.
Yeah, I think we had the girls, because I volunteer with the younger group, and that's when we had our pamper party. So we did facials and nails and stuff. So that was a fun day. And what about you, Ms. Dillard?
I think at this point, I'm still experiencing, everything's still new to me. So, but I really, the Tea Party has a special place in my heart. That just, I don't know, it was so much fun. And there was a whole table of girls and their, adult people, whatever relationship that may have been, and they had all made their own hats, and it was just so creative and fun to dress up and feel fancy.
Mm-hmm. That was always a good time. And then I know recently we had the Founders Banquet. Were you both able to attend?
Yes.
And how was that experience for you? For those who may not know, it's like the end of the year banquet where they do awards and everyone was dressed in white. How did you both enjoy the event?
Well, I want to thank Miss Dorothy for coming, because she has about a 5-hour round trip
Oh
for a 3-hour event. So I would like to express my appreciation for her making that effort, because she comes from all the way Lewis up to Chester. So it was good. Like a lot of work to the buildup of it. But it was good. I like seeing the girls being acknowledged and how excited they get by some of the things that we think are little, but to them mean a whole lot.
Yes.
No, it was well worth it. I really enjoyed it. Just to see it was very affirming and very encouraging. It's been so hard with COVID, and there have been some dips in participation with some of the chapters and all of that, but to go and to see how strong the Wilmington and Dover and Chester chapters are, and the girls are committed, the volunteers are committed. It was that feeling of this is the tribe, and it's strong and it's resilient. And then this was also my first time to see vision boards, because they bring their completed vision boards. So this was my first time to see those, and I was asked to judge them. So I had to spend more time with them than I probably would have done on my own, which was wonderful. And just the creativity and, the hard work that some of the girls put into it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's so great. I'm glad you were both able to go and partake in that day and see everybody. One of the great things about I Am My Sister's Keeper is it feels like, Miss Charlotte and the group, they're always adding new things, changing things a little bit to keep things fresh and to keep their vision going forward. I know we just added like a new chapter. For both of you, as board members, just is there a vision, or is there anything you'd like to see MSK do in the future or add to what they already do?
Well, I just totally lost my train of thought. Well, we want to see, obviously, or I want to see MSK grow. I forgot to say during the founders banquet, they all cheered for each other, whether they were from Chester or Dover or from Wilmington. They all cheered, and that's the kind of sisterhood that we're trying to build. And that's one of the reasons we've been able, 3 or 4 or 5 times this year to be able to get all the chapters locally. Unfortunately, Atlanta gets left out every once in a while, but because of distance.
Yeah.
But that's what I want to see grow. I want to see that sisterhood. I want to see that network that they're getting to expand their horizons and have new and different experiences.
Absolutely.
We've done a lot of hard work at the board level with, creating a theory of change and just really formalizing what MSK is about. And I think what, we produced through that work was a very nimble but clear path forward. And that's exciting to have a mission that can take a little bit of a different focus so it doesn't become routine or boring or, just doing things to get them done. And that, the different themes fit under that because life is just like a bunch of different themes. And so experiencing those, I would like to see more support for MSK and helping create that stability to grow from those who say that they're committed to, providing opportunities for girls like the ones that participate in MSK. So I'm hoping somebody adopts somebody with a checkbook adopts MSK. I think one of the things that's hard to communicate is that it's about the rites of passage. And that was one of the things that was so beautiful about the Tea Party is that, we have programs, summer programs, and lots of different kinds of, STEM or arts programs, but those being designed to help you understand yourself and embrace yourself and, start to grow and mature into your full potential. And that rites of passage that you go through with that transition into adulthood. Those other programs don't do that. They don't do the transformational piece. They're just transactional. And it's all good. But I think trying to get people to understand the long-term commitment that MSK can provide to the girls as they mature and transition into womanhood is really important. And I hope that message starts being heard and understood better.
Yeah, that's so important. Like you mentioned, the rites of passage are one of the things that drew me to MSK as well, because, a lot of times it's either groups that are focused on a particular age group, but not that often, like you said, the transition and like the need to have like some stability, but also some change as you grow. And I feel like MSK does a great job of presenting both sides of it, which I think is so helpful and needed for the girls. So one last question I want to ask you both, I find myself reflecting a lot lately about my younger years and what I would tell my younger self, especially when you work with the girls, it's hard not to, right? To think of like, oh, what would I've told myself if I was that age? So if you could go back and give the, like that middle school age girl of you, a version of you, some advice or tips, what would you tell her?
Well, I try to forget that middle school
Oh,
girl.
you have to give me a minute here. I have to like.
I know. I'm like, you're asking for a big time span there. I think things I would tell myself: learn to love exercise. Um, most of it's small stuff, even though it feels huge in the moment. Most of it's small stuff, and maybe just not be concerned. I know that's hard, especially in this day and age of social media. Learn not to be bothered by other people's opinions of you, and make sure that you love yourself.
Yes, those are great ones.
I think I would tell myself what I've tried to communicate to my own children, is that who you are is up to you and other people. I mean, it's kind of the same thing Melissa's saying, but other people can't define you. At some point, you're the one who defines who you are, and that's acceptable. That they're more, that there's space and need in the world for every kind of person, and so whoever you are, you don't have to fit into a little box here or there. Because I did not fit into any of the two boxes offered to me when I was growing up, for girls, and that's, yeah, there's a whole big world out there.
Yeah, that is a huge one for me as well. That's why I love both of the tips that you both gave. But yeah, realizing that you can find people who match you. I always say your vibe attracts your tribe, and that life is just so much happier when you surround yourself with like-minded people than when you try to change who you are so other people like you. So that's definitely one of the things I enjoy as well about MSK, is helping the girls find their tribe and their people who enjoy the same things as them. Well, thank you both so much for your time. I'm so happy that you are board members. I hope you continue to be board members. As I mentioned a little while ago, we had the founders banquet. It was the end of the year, or of the, I guess you could call it the academic year for I Am My Sister's Keeper. So we have the summer months off, and then be back again in the fall. So definitely I'll include the link in the bio if you want to learn more about the organization, about signing up to join. We always love volunteers, and also to have more girls as well. But thank you again both for your time and sharing a little bit about yourselves.
Thanks for reaching out.